congratulations. I know that since you were like a teenager, you were questioning the educational system. Tell us a little about that process, and if you think that this documentary reflects that period of your life, but in a more mature way.
Yes, absolutely. The documentary definitely reflects uh, my mind going out of the box and wanting to look for questions and answers that were more meaningful beyond what my family taught me or even society was providing, even the school system. So most definitely the documentary is about part of that journey. I wouldn't say the entire journey, but part of it definitely in answering those big questions of why are we here, what is our greatest potential and where are we going?
So I would like to know, what do you think is the impact of artificial intelligence in our daily life? Because we are more and more depending on that, I guess.
Yes, so I have learned that AI and technology has an enormous impact on us. So it's very important that we take the time to think for ourselves. It's very easy to go along with the crowd, which we've done for too long. So now more than ever is crucial to have a mind of our own. Science and technology gives us the opportunity to discover new territories, even the power to advance our DNA, but we have to use these technologies mindfully.
What's the situation of women in the world of evolution, genius, in the world of science? I mean, women in a lot of industries are considered second-class citizens. How do you see the role of women in the investigation of these topics that are very deep and scientific?
Yes, from my point of view, I think that we can't afford to leave out 50% of our society anymore. There are solutions needed that require abilities way beyond our intellect or a high IQ. Some of the greatest geniuses, physicists, are visionaries, which means that they could simulate the future or foresee an event before it happens. So women are naturally more intuitive and have an amazing sense of knowingness, which are some of the key aspects of genius.
How your documentary, you have great scientists, great people. How easy was it for you to access to all these people? How welcome was in this kind of industry, or these people, that your guests and participants?
Yes, it was quite surprising because they were all very interested from the beginning on. It was a topic of great interest to all of them. They even asked themselves, like, what do I have to do with genius? What can I contribute to your documentary? And once we presented to them our one-pager, our proposal, they were very excited about the variety of topics and themes and experts that I had included that allowed them to contribute their expertise within this, mighty topic of genius.
Why is evolution, your documentary, relevant today?
Yes, a great question. I feel that currently as a society, we are at a tipping point in which people are starting to wake up to what's most meaningful to them. What better time for a documentary that shines light on the possibility of us advancing our brain and mind to genius?
I guess that through your documentary, you contribute to investigate more things that people didn't ask themselves because they thought they were obvious. And you're bringing all this knowledge into the world of a more superficial world. You're bringing science into normal people.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, you bring two questions. I was definitely bringing science to common people. It's a way to introduce new knowledge that seems to be really out there, but really, I mean, we are surrounded by science, you know, it's all over nature. So I noticed that all of my authors had an extreme ability to focus on what they're passionate about and have managed to expand and advance their area of expertise. They were very well versed in many topics outside their specific sphere of interest. They had very open minds, and due to that, they were able to connect many concepts that seem unrelated. And this is a big aspect of genius, the ability to make new connections and to arrive at an unknown or unexpected outcome. So just that simple concept opens up the possibility for anyone, you know, as you said, in any average person to be able to think beyond their comfort zone and start to ask great questions and make new connections for them to find new answers for themselves or solutions that are needed in their own life.
So what's your background are you a scientist? Are you a filmmaker? Are you many things, or?
Yes, great question too. Well, I am a filmmaker.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes, I'm a director, producer. I also own a multimedia firm, which now the new firm is called We Genius Minds. But I am what I would call a self-made scientist, if I could use that word, meaning I've done a lot of research throughout, you know, throughout my entire life. So I taught myself to understand science and physics, neurology, neuroscience, but I'm not per se a graduate from university in terms of science. I'm an artist.
Okay, you're a filmmaker who did a lot of research because you needed to find answers to your questions.
Yes,
Basically, a very curious person.
correct. Not only through the process of the documentary, but definitely, I mean, from beginning to end, I know so much more now at the end, at the completion of it, that I knew when I started. But I want to say that this curiosity started when I was very young. And so it pays off to go beyond the status quo.
Also, I know that Evolution is showing on streaming on Amazon in the UK and the US, but very soon it's going to be worldwide. How important is it for you to have your documentary streaming worldwide, and why is it important?
Yes, so the message of the documentary is so timely, as it's all about the future. Therefore, it appeals to a broad audience, and some of our greatest scientists and thinkers presented in the documentary have made amazing breakthroughs in science and beyond. On the other side, they're just scratching the surface. So for example, we have yet to discover the ability to manipulate space and time itself, as said by Professor Michio Kaku in my documentary. So the feedback thus far is that people are inspired to watch it several times and study its content. So we are very much looking forward to receive you know, comments and feedback worldwide. So it's very exciting for us to now be in Europe and Asia and all over the world. Also is going to come out in Spanish for all the Spanish speaking countries. So it's going to be a pleasure for me to be able to share it as well with that community, as I am Spanish myself.
The thing is, it was very well received, I guess, from the reviews that I read to document myself. So how satisfied are you with the reception that the documentary has received in the US and the UK and in Canada, I guess?
Yes, in the US and the UK, it's not available yet in Canada, but it will be very soon, as we were just speaking about it. So I, I mean, I was very happy that the feedback, the comments were right on because people were inspired. People thought it's mind-bending, which served its purpose for someone to start to um, learn new concepts, to think outside their box and to want to ask greater questions. So I was more than pleased that it's serving the purpose of why this documentary was made. Great
How,
feedback, of course.
how do you see your future as a filmmaker? Are you preparing something? Do you have, or you're just concentrating on the promotion of evolution?
No, I am a multitasker, so definitely I am focusing on the promotion. Meanwhile, we are working on a book because you can only, add so much screen time from these brilliant authors. So the book is going to have extended version of the interviews. It's going to be more of a personal journey of discovering your own genius, as well as I would most definitely like to create a series to expand in all of these topics that were presented. So the documentary is scratching the surface and making new connections, but there's so much more about each specific topic that I want to put together in a series. So I'm working on those two projects.